round one, your first opponent was Panda Dogs. I think you were the second guy to play. The first one was Helga, and then you played. You were the second game set of
Yeah,
round
I
one.
think so. I was either second or third. I don't
Second.
remember off the top of my head.
You were second, I can see it here. Either way, Panda Dogs. I think this was one of the most hype matches this whole tournament so far. Because,
Yeah.
it's the new gen. It's Pandadox who's playing, and at the time we thought he would win, and then you somehow, you walked in there and you just beat him. So when we look at game one, I suppose that it's more up to you to commentate this, because you knew what was going on. So let me just start it. So what was going on in round one, or with the lead off? Like, why did you lead what you led with?
So, I saw the. Let me just pull up my team actually, so I could get a better look at it.
Yep.
God, my computer's so slow.
I mean, luckily enough for Pokemon, you don't really have to have a turbo computer.
Yeah. So, I wanted to bring Bundle regardless of
Sure, I think you cut out for a second there. You wanted to bring Iron Bundle regardless of
Iron Hands, because it was sub Encore, and it was like he either subs or
fake out.
Hold on. He either fakes me out turn one and
you can Encore.
Which is what ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler, sorry. But yeah. Plus, Panda, I was watching replays from the kickoff tour. Panda clicks Protect so often. Protect is really good, but I just wanted to punish that a little bit.
So this Iron Bundle was basically, if you use this Protect or Fake Out, and that goes for everyone, Iron Bundle, since it's so fast with that boost energy, you can just screw it over immediately.
Yeah.
It's even faster than Flutter Mane, damn. So is this the fastest thing in the tier besides stuff with Tailwind and Swift Swim? I think it might be.
It's the fastest booster user.
Yeah, well, that's probably all that matters.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool tech, the Anchor tech. Did you see that from someone else before, or did you come up with that? Hello?
I don't know if it was just something sitting in my builder, but I've used it in other applications, so I thought it'd be pretty nice.
I don't know if it's 1v1 thing.
It kind of was for early meta game, because people didn't know what they were doing, so they'd run Bundle with Encore, even though it was pretty bad.
Well, I mean, it worked here pretty well, because what we see here is he goes for a Fake Out, you go for a sub. I really like the subs that you play. For some reason, Fluttermane doesn't regard Chi-Yu as a danger, which I understand, since in his head he probably thought, I'll kill the Iron Bundle, Chi-Yu get flinched and we can finish it off, but didn't really happen. You Anchor the Iron Hands, then he still decides to go for Chi-Yu, which I think was a weird play. Do you think he thought you would protect on Iron Bundle? Why do you think he Moonblasted your Chi-Yu at the end?
I never, even while I was playing this set, I had no idea why that was made. Because, Panda could have done a lot of things differently. Maybe just kill Bundle, and then it would have been, awkward for a late game Chi-Yu to try to clean against Fluttermane.
About to say, because since Iron Hands didn't get the booster energy, I think we can assume it's AV, because what else does it run besides booster energy or AV, right?
Yeah, and Chi-Yu did, what? Well, 44 is still a decent amount, because Chi-Yu's broken.
Yeah, but it critted. So, and you were -1 speed F. Or, sorry, -1 special attack. So I think, if you just killed Iron Bundle, he might have won that first game. But he didn't, so that's all that matters, and it is what it is, Yeah, luckily enough you hit the Hydro Pump, which is always a scary thing since they removed Scald. Although, to be fair, I think even if Iron Bundle... No, I don't know if you would like to use Surf of Chi. By the way, would you even use Gold when Iron Bundle? Assuming I'd got it. Because I might need that little power that Hydro Pump has.
I like having Pump as an option for, yeah, like you said, more damage. But I feel like it has other applications with Scald because Bundle has like insanely good base defense.
Oh yeah, it is a defense
114.
killer. Or like a physical attack killer. Besides, of course, Iron Hands.
No, 1v1 I use defense booster, and it's kind of hot. Like that with Scald would be like easy.
I would love to see how that would turn out, but it's a shame.
Pretty funny.
We can't see it with Scald, I'm afraid. Right, then we go to game 2. Wait, did you bring the same team there, or no? Wait, you didn't. You brought. This is such a. You loaded the essence of a Gen 9 team.
Basically.
you brought the Iron Hands, Fluttermane, Chi-Yu with redirection. And then he brought a kind of a fruity team, one maybe could say. A Greninja and a Scizor with a Talonflame and a Fluttermane. Well, now that's something. So when you saw this team, do you remember what you thought? Because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, it's cool, but I don't know if it's gonna. If it's that team, if you know what I mean. I don't know if it's
yeah. I think I was too cautious of Scizor because I knew that Gren Flutter was like totally like 90% of the time was what was going to be brought. On the off chance that like Scizor came out instead of like Gren even, I felt like Fluttermane plus Indeedee would not be able to kill it. My team looks basic, but like I teched like at least the Fluttermane and the Chi-Yu, so they're like way different from standard.
Wait, Fluttermane, yeah. So you led off with Indeedee and with Fluttermane, if I'm not wrong. Oh, with an Iron Hands. Indeedee and Iron Hands. So what was your whole thought process by bringing Iron Hands? Just to beat that Scizor in case?
I felt that Iron Hands, like, I look at this team and I just see Iron Hands like killing everything basically.
Yeah,
really,
right.
it's really good.
It
and
is.
I was like, yeah, if Indeedee gets doubled, like it might die, but if it doesn't, I have a pretty solid chance.
Yeah. There still needs to be a video uploaded on Hisuian Humans channel, but that's where we are talking about just everything that happened week 1 or like round 1. And I was wondering your opinion on this. I said I think Psychic Seed might be overlooked at the moment and might be worth trying out with. What do you feel about Psychic Seed?
I feel like Psychic Seed is it has potential for sure because like Chi-Yu and Indeedee, or like just Chi-Yu, Fluttermane is everywhere right now, and I feel like it's good for that. But I like Colbur, like Stable put me onto this. It's so you live Tenpow Crunch and Chi-Yu Dark Pulse, so you get like probably 1 extra redirect.
I agree that probably Colbur is better for Indeedee, but just, I mean, Psychic Seed for an Iron Hand, Psychic Seed for whatever, basically.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of using Psychic Seed Fluttermane.
Because I
had
think...
it in my builder, and I was like, I don't know.
I think Psychic Seed is just a better AV at the moment.
I actually used it versus Mom Lover, but I put it on a bad Mon.
Well, maybe we'll see that. I don't know. Did you bring that Pokemon of Psychic Seed that activate?
Oh yeah, I brought it in the Mom Lover series.
Then we'll go over that soon.
Yeah.
Either way, you brought indeed the Iron Hands. Iron Hands basically being able to win versus everything and then redirect to make sure it also actually does win against everything. He crits you, didn't really matter because of that nice Colbur berry. Still, I'm afraid it wasn't enough because Fluttermane is so strong if it has the special attack booster energy instead of speed. So, 1-1 at the moment. So how did you feel playing these games?
After game 1, I felt pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit, I beat like a good 2v2 player, you know? Maybe I'm actually kind of good at this tier. And then game 2, I was just like, okay, I need to like actually trust my like picking. Because like I was thinking Fluttermane, but my Fluttermane would have actually matched up so well into this.
Yeah, purely because he had also Did you have the speed booster or special attack booster?
Actually, I had Spadef boost.
Spadef boost. Hold up, now that's something. So that would have been a speed type, probably, right? Or
I'm not max. Am I max? No, I'm
no,
not
no.
max speed because you have to like reduce it for booster.
Yeah, I don't
Probably
know.
outsped.
Yeah, well, then we go over to game 3. By the way, sorry for the yawn, it's been a long day so far. And then we see, I think, a pretty interesting team from Panda Dogs. And then we see, also again, a bit of like the essence of Gen 9 going on with an Arc 9 and then 3 of the big broken ones. So, like, this is quite an unusual team we see here from Panda Dogs. So, what was your whole idea with leading with an Iron Valiant and Iron Heads against this?
Thought of like I knew going into this series that Panda would probably bring Metacham because I saw him use it before, and it's actually not that bad as an Iron Hands answer.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting to see.
And I thought Iron Valiant plus Iron Hands looked really good because I could always fake out into Metacham for free basically because if it used fake out, I'd just get a free encore.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Iron Hands just cleans up kind of.
And then that Ting Lu, like that was. Did you expect Ting Lu to be a weakness policy?
Yeah, I spammed weakness policy on ladder for a little bit, trying to get a feel for it. It's a pretty cool mon.
So wait, if you predicted that it was weakness policy, why didn't you double into it? Because it would have saved your Iron Hands probably.
I was didn't think Azu would protect first off, like obviously, but I know Azu gets encore, and I was worried that next turn I could like. I was worried that I would get encored if I doubled into Ting Lu. Like, I would get encored into Fake Out or something.
But I mean double CC.
So double CC. That's true. Yeah, I kind of sold this game.
I suppose, but I mean, we all do that from time to time. That's just part of playing Pokemon, right?
And then normally, like, text with, like, the, like, more threatening mon from what I've, like, looked at. And I did not think... I thought Ting Lu would protect, mainly.
Yeah, that's valid, I suppose. I mean, we've all been in that situation, you know? So it's like, we've all been there, we will all be there again one time.
Yeah.
Alright, so then you are down 1-2, so that must be like a bit of a scary part, I can assume. You needed to pull off a somewhat of a reverse sweep-esque thing.
But like, since I'm a 1v1 mainer, that's like kind of common for like half of like
reverse
tournament players coming back from a deficit, yeah.
Okay. Alright, so when we go into game 4, we see from both sides an interesting pick. We see, well, Mimikyu's a bit niche, but it's not too unusual. But then we see an Iron Moth on your side, and then a Miascarada on his side. And then, of course, absolute 2v2 favorites at the moment, Iron Hands with you. What did you think of his team he brought with the Miascarada?
I thought, I think Miascarada is definitely, like, underexplored, because Flower Trick's pretty busted, but, like, literally every good Pokemon right now beats Miascarada.
Yeah, Miascarada is now the worst Urshifu of this generation, but then with a horrible type matchup.
Yeah.
But you brought Iron Moth. Tell me about Iron Moth. I want to know about this. What was going into your head thinking? I want Iron Moth on this team.
I just wanted something fast to kind of fill my, like, void of, like, 3 mons that don't match up that well against, like, opposing fairies. So I, like, decided on Iron Moth because it's poison. Even though it's only, like, decent poison move is Acid Spray in doubles.
Yeah, because otherwise you need to run Sludge Wave, which isn't recommendable.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I wish they gave it Sludge Bomb. That would have made it such a more useful Pokemon.
No, they, like, purged Sludge Bomb, too, for, like, no reason.
Yeah, they purged a lot of good moves for no reason, I'm afraid. Alright, so... let's see, he brings in DDG, you bring Mimikyu Iron Hands. Mimikyu bringing Track Room to the table, right?
It's like Mimikyu, this was, like, the easiest Mimikyu click ever.
Wait, so why was this the best Mimikyu click ever?
Because I'm Spadef Mimikyu. Like
Yep.
I'm max attack, max Spadef, 4 HP.
Yep.
Like it's not like it's gonna get a play rough. It's adamant, so it's like play rough looks good into like all 4 of these mons. Plus my I knew that Panda would run a decent amount of Indeedee, so I'm Taunt Mimikyu.
Yeah, indeed. Wait, you were Taunt Mimikyu. I remember now. I watched this game
Taunt
live, I
Mimikyu
think.
won me a lot of practice games.
Yeah, wait, I think I watched this game live. Maybe I can still see it. Right, so you're protecting Iron Hands, probably to just make sure you get off that trick room without Iron Hands dying or taking too much damage. I think that's a pretty standard self-explanatory play. They trick room up. So I assume you taunted the... Oh wait, did you taunt Indeedee? Oh no, you didn't. You just straight up fucking killed it.
That just fucking dies.
Wait, did you predict him protecting? Or...
Yeah, I just figured that Indeedee was more of a threat. Yeah, and I figured that there would be some type of redirection anyways, so it would be better for me to either click close combat into a DD anyways, and then play rough to you regardless.
Yeah. Alright. So now it's 2-2. Like, of course I don't know how you felt in that situation, but if I were you at that situation, I would have felt such relief thinking, yes, it's still possible. We can still, like, claw it back.
Yeah, it was a sick feeling, getting to use... I didn't even know that Panda was the one that, like Mimikyu a lot. So, like, beating Panda with Mimikyu was definitely pretty good.
Yeah, so that must feel nice. That must feel nice. Especially since Pandadox was the Gen 9 player we all expected to succeed. And instead you were the Gen 9 player to succeed. That was quite the unexpected twist of events.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm happy it was like that, especially since you're playing for the team I'm rooting for.
Yeah, me too, obviously.
Yeah.
And another thing that you see in Game 5, which was really interesting to me, like I was asking the team Discord, I was like, oh, should I ever use this? And I was like, yeah, it matches up well into like 90% of Panda's usage, so I don't see why not. And then Panda loads up another like Meowscarada team.
Isn't it this is basically the same team, but just Azumarill over Iron Hands?
Which is like definitely not as good. It's because Iron Hands is just so good.
Iron Hands is so amazing. So wait, when you went in Game 5 with Iron Hands, did you predict him assuming you would protect again? So therefore you didn't? Or?
Yeah, so on preview I basically prepped for like worst case scenario, and then like so basically I figured that since I got Trick Room off last game, I wasn't setting it up at all this game, and that Iron Hands could probably like go ham. And I was surprised. It did. I was so surprised that Panda doubled my Mimikyu though. I was definitely not expecting that.
I suppose he was scared of Trick Room, but also of the protecting Iron Hands, because that seems like an alright play. I assume, by the way, you taunted Indeedee just to make sure that Follow Me wouldn't come out next turn, right?
And Panda's Indeedee was actually like had speed investment, which was pretty surprising because my Mimikyu outspeeds like no invest, literally just like EV'd it to, like I just changed the IVs actually to make it slow enough. Trick Room basically, and it outspeeds Indeedee by 1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, by the way, speaks so much about the fucking Iron Hands. Indeedee, Stab, Psychic, and Psychic Train. Super effective first Iron Hands. Iron Hands snacks it up, neutral attack, destroys the Indeedee on the spot. That's the most weird thing that's out there. Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah. Another like interesting thing is Indeedee was not special attack invested, because I calced like after the game, if it was special attack invested, Iron Hands did not live.
Yeah, but then it means you need to sacrifice bulk, and that's maybe a bit of a big sacrifice to make for a Follow Me support Pokemon. Since the big hitters, I assume, would be the other 3 on his team.
Yeah.
So, then you won versus Pandadox. How did that feel? Like, I must imagine that felt great.
It felt great. Like, starting my first team tour and then winning against like a favorited player.
Yeah, did you know what that he won the kickoff tour at the time?
I was like looking for prep against them, and then like everybody's like, oh yeah, Panda won kickoff. Like nobody was like overselling them or anything. They were just like, yeah, just so you know.
He did that.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I remember, because I'm also in the Scoundrels Discord. You were pretty happy, if I'm not wrong.
You're not. I was.
Well, fully deserved, of course.
Yeah.
Alright, so then you go on to Mom Lover, which what do you think of the name?
It's a great name.
I think he loves his mom.
Oh yeah, totally. Who doesn't love their mom, right?
Yeah, like I'm sure he helps her with the groceries and that type of deal.
Yeah, totally.
Of course. So now we have you versus Mom Lover. We go into game 1, and then we see you using 2 Pokemon you haven't used so far, with a Talonflame and a Great Tusk. Which maybe is a bit of a tough matchup against the Rain team. Luckily enough, you have your trusty Iron Hands to deal with Rain, though.
Basically.
So, when you saw the Rain team, what did you think?
I knew that. Like, I asked people if Mom Lover was like, you know, like an established 2v2 player, and they're like, oh, he'll probably get past teams. And like, I've seen this Rain team like 4 times. I think EU brought it too. Somebody else might have brought it.
So you really scouted out your opponents. That's what I'm understanding at the moment.
I usually do some type of like prep, you know, just
That's
like
good
scout.
To hear. Because I think
play.
I can assume it's the same for 1v1, but one of the most important things in 2v2 is just make sure you're prepared well and you scouted well enough. I think so many games could just be won purely based out of scouting and making good predictions.
Like half of the battle is in the builder.
I would say half of the 45% of the battle is in the builder. 60% of the battle is done in builder. 35% of the battle is done by scouting and replays. 5% is being actually battled out on the field.
Oh, that's yeah. If I had to break it down, I'd probably do something similar to that.
Yeah, but I mean, I assume you're quite used to that formula from 1v1.
Yeah, it's even better in 1v1 because like
that's full scouting.
So yeah,
like, yeah, I can imagine that 2v2 is a bit more complicated when you look at the team preview because there's just more possible. Because you need to account for a combination instead of a singular, so that's why maybe scouting works even better in 1v1. I don't know if you can confirm or deny that.
Scouting's pretty good in 1v1 because like you get to see usage, and I also look at team styles a lot to see, oh, do they run like 3 like hyper offense?
Like what's their do they protect a lot? Do they like that type of deal? All right, so let's see. You saw the Rain team. You have a team that doesn't match up too great against it, even though you have an Iron Hands. So, but the curious thing is, did you predict him to lead off with Floatzel Pelipper?
I predicted like some type of like Pelipper lead. I felt like Iron Hands. If he went Iron Hands here, it might have been a different game because like Iron Hands Dittos are kind of weird. I knew Valiant would not be a solid bring here, but Talonflame was coming regardless of what happened.
So wait, did you know Floatzel? Like, did you calc this, or did you know this before you clicked it? But did you know Bravebird just straight up OHKOs Floatzel?
I figured because Floatzel's just like, you know, standard Swift Swim bot. Like, it doesn't run bulk, it doesn't run like anything else.
I do want to say though, I think people shouldn't use Floatzel, but Barraskewda instead. Barraskewda is better, but that's besides the point.
Floatzel kind of popped off for like 3 games this week and then just fell off after that, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Barraskewda would have also popped off there, but maybe I'm biased. Either way. Yeah, it kind of surprised me seeing it straight up OHKO, but to be fair, while Talonflame might be somewhat weak, Bravebird is such a strong move. 120 base power, stab. You never can underestimate that with Live Orb. And then, of course, Wild Charge just probably destroyed 4 Pelipers.
It's like an 80% roll to kill non-bulk Floatzel, so it's pretty in my favor.
Yeah, that was in your favor. You can count that as a pretty, like, right?
And then I feel like Talonflames should protect turn 1 like 90% of the time.
I think oftentimes people should double protect at the start just to scout out someone else's protect so you can attack after, making sure they won't, or like making almost sure they won't protect again.
Yeah.
Right, so then we go on to game 2. Didn't we see this team you're bringing now in game 3 of you versus Panda Dogs?
Yeah, I reused this team because I thought, Valiant's just like good versus Mom Lover, kind of, is what I was going with.
And then we see something curious with Mom Lover. 2 things at least that catch my eye. Miascarada again, like, people really want to use it, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then we now see an Iron Bundle for the first time besides your Iron Bundle game 1, which I think is somewhat strange because I think Iron Bundle is so good at the moment. But you don't see a lot of people running it, actually. I suppose maybe that's because of Iron Hands.
I wish I had a bundle in this game, actually.
Yeah, Bundle just sweeps up his whole team, basically.
His bundle answer is bundle.
Yeah, that's quite curious, isn't it? So, what do you saw his team? Why did you go with the lead you went with?
I need to look at the lead again.
Yeah. The Chi-Yu with the Iron. Iron Hands is a logical play, of course, because Iron Hands beats everything. Iron Hands is Iron Hands.
So my Chi-Yu was Assault Vest, which if you look at Mom Lover's team, it literally just beats everything except Arcanine.
Doesn't Iron Bundle one-shot it anyways? Even with AV?
It's you don't even need bulk to live Bundle Hydro.
Wait, really?
Chi-Yu's defense, Chi-Yu's Spadef is actually like, it's base 120, so it's actually like a really good Assault Vest user.
So you're telling me the Fire Pokemon beats the Water Pokemon?
Which... Bundle's a fraud. Like, this happens all the time in 1v1. It did before Chi-Yu got banned, but like, AV beating Bundle is like not... If you ask a 1v1 player about it, they'll be like, yeah, that's old news.
Well, that's curious. And then we see the Encore taking effect on your Iron Hands this time. The thing is though, Playrough does for 36. Flare Blitz did more. Yeah, you still lost though, even though it was quite close. So we are on 1-1, right? No, if I'm not wrong, right? 1-1. So when we move on to game 3, both of you bringing quite a curious team. There's a lot to talk about in this. So you brought, alright, so Halucha with a seed isn't news in 2v2 for everyone who played Gen 8. I'm sure everyone knows about Rilla Lucha. But pretty cool to see it used also. I don't know if it's cool, but pretty interesting to see it also used in Gen 9 with Indeedee. But then the Clodsire. What's Clodsire doing here?
Clodsire's just like a decent presence to have because it's got really good natural bulk. Plus it's a ground type.
With poison and water absorb. Honestly, you might be onto something with water absorb, poison ground, Clodsire. Wouldn't you want to run water absorb?
I was running unaware just in case, but like, yeah, water absorb's pretty good too.
Do you know if unaware also blocks the stat changes you get from a booster energy in terms of attack?
It doesn't because it's like item calculation.
That's unfortunate, but unaware Clodsire would be really good if it actually blocked that. Then of course an Arcanine, a bit of standard Pokemon, but then he brought a Gyarados, a Volcarona, and again Miascarada. Like, what's going on his team? That's a funky looking team.
I've like heard of some Gyarados being used in like test games and stuff. It doesn't seem bad. Like it seems decent because it's I feel like its typing is pretty good outside of being like quad weak to electric, but like
Yeah.
you have 3 other team slots that can account for it.
Even though, oh, sorry again. Even though he didn't really bring anything to beat in other Iron Hands, if I'm honest. Because you got Rock Slide to kill Volcarona,
Yeah.
you got Wild Charge to kill Gyarados, you got CC to kill Miasquarana, and then you have another Iron Hands. So, like, I don't know what is going on with his team.
I think it's mainly just like redirect, because like you see the redirect later on.
The Rage Battle, of course.
Yeah, like Flame Body, Iron Hand, or Flame Body Volcarona probably did L versus Iron Hands.
So
like most don't run Rock Slide because it's like it kind of has 4 move slot syndrome because it wants if it's not
you
AV,
want Fake Out,
protect.
you want CC, you want Wild Charge, and then you have the 4th move slot that if you're not running AV goes to protect, and otherwise you most likely run Rock Slide, I'd say.
Probably, but it's like with AV you want Heavy Slam for like Flutter and
oh yes, of course. Like I said it before. I'm not a 2v2 Gen 9 player. I am or a Gen 9 2v2 player. I'm more of a Gen 9 WU player, and Flutter main is banned there, so I don't even have to think about Heavy Slam.
Hopefully we don't have to think about Flutter main soon.
Yeah. Do you think that would be a good change if Flutter main also gets banned?
I feel like Chi-Yu is probably the most oppressive right now, and
Isn't it the combo Chi-Yu plus Flutter main?
I don't know if the pair could get banned together. I think Iron Hands is just broken. Like as we've seen, I've won like 90% of my games.
Should Iron Hands be banned?
I feel like there's healthy counterplay to Iron Hands.
But doesn't the meta kind of revolve around Iron Hands? Bring the Iron Hands and bring the counters to Iron Hands? Or would you say that's not the case?
To an extent it is. I feel like in the long run though, if Chi-Yu isn't around, I feel like there's more healthy counterplay options to Iron Hands, like encoring a Fake Out, instead of like running Assault Vest everything, or like Hawlucha for Chi-Yu, because Hawlucha's a fraud. This mod is so bad.
Hawlucha is definitely a fraud. I'm happy we can all agree on that. And I'm sure everyone who still is traumatized by Rellalucha also likes you saying that.
It did some work though, so I can't be all mad about it.
Yeah, so wait, you saw quite a weird team. You also have quite an unusual team. So why did you lead with what you led with?
Because stuff I wanted to get the Cha-Cha Slide nicknames out there.
Slide to the left.
Ooh. Other mons aren't named, so like this was
this must have, you couldn't brought anything else. You needed to have the pairing with the names, and of course you wanted to activate the Psychic Seed.
And then I thought that worst case Gyarados came out, but I feel like he would have been scared of Claude.
Yeah, so even though funnily enough he probably would have beaten it since it isn't water absorb. Gyarados was actually really good against the matchup against you, he just didn't bring it.
Yeah.
I think he brought the 2 Pokemon he just shouldn't have brought. And he should have brought the left 2 Pokemon. Either way, I want to say something. And I completely forgot. Yeah, no, I just forgot. Alright, so then we see just a standard Follow Me and a Rock Slide. Why did it live Rock Slide so easily?
Lucha's bad. I'm like max attack adamant, I think.
It's not even like close to killing, and it's damn.
57.
That's shameful. And then what do we see here? Like an Acro? Yeah. Luckily enough, you don't get burned, which is nice. I'm not sure if it really mattered though. Since it would have been a 2-hit KO
like
otherwise.
Losses. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, I might get burned, but Miasquarada's not living too.
Yeah, so do you think Miasquarada is kind of ass, or do you think it's something that has a lot of potential and still needs to be explored?
I think it definitely has potential, like, later on. But with, like, the best mon in the tier right now being Fire, and then the other next best mon being Fighting. Like, it's definitely hard for it to find a solid place right now.
And the third best mon being Fairy. There's no escaping it.
And them all being like either able to live or outspeed easily.
Do you think, let's say, Iron Hands, Fluttermane, and Chi-Yu all get banned, which isn't too far-fetched, do you think Miasquerada might become one of the best Pokemon in tier together with Chien-Pao?
I could see that, like, Dark Spam being good. It would push Indeedee out of favor, which I'm all for. Indeedee is busted.
And now, remember what I wanted to say, purely because of what you just said. Is your Indeedee special attack infested, so it can one-shot Iron Hands?
I have a little invest. I'm running like a little speed, so like I shouldn't get outsped by Iron Hands. So
but do you also kill it in one?
Yeah, should. It's like
if it's
mainly,
not AV.
If it was AV, then it probably would have been better. But I didn't feel that scared about Iron Hands since I could just double it if it was AV, and Psychic does like
a lot,
decent amount regardless.
A good enough chunk. So then, wait, it's 2-2, then we are on game 4, right?
2-1.
Oh, yes. Oh, then we go to... We keep seeing curious teams here. Alright, so he brought Trick Room with Chi-Yu, I suppose. Well, this is curious. Can you explain me what the Far Giraffe is doing there?
It's mainly like, it sets Trick Room against like opposing fast teams because my Chi-Yu's not like Scarf, and I already have 2 fast months. So they wouldn't expect it against like, like Scarf, Chi-Yu plus Superman.
No, I also wouldn't expect it if I saw that, but he also brought it kind of a different team on his own.
I feel like it was definitely a Scarf Chi-Yu because Sun plus Scarf Chi-Yu.
Yeah, you don't have any other speed control, so you might need just that Scarf to make sure you move first.
Also, Farigiraf's ability, Armor Tail, is really nice because it gives this
fake out.
Gives this team a Talonflame option too. Like I don't just get like O-code by any offensive Talonflame.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, Iron Tail is the ability, or no, yeah, Armor Tail. Sorry, Armor Tail. Iron Tail's to move. Armor Tail Brock's priority moves. It's a bit like Serene. Serene Grace. What am I saying? What's the ability of Serena? You know what I mean? Queenly Majesty.
Queenly Majesty.
Yeah, Armor Tail is basically.
Dazzling.
Armor Tail is just basically Queenly Majesty, which just blocks priority moves against you. So let's see. Game 4. Future Funk and Flushed against your Chi-Yu and your Fargiraf.
So
you just get obliterated by Dark Pulse, and then you get.
I just got owned basically.
Yeah, there wasn't
not much to.
There wasn't much to say about that. There was just that was over in turn 1. There's nothing to add to that, I think.
I'm surprised that his Iron Hands wasn't booster considering Oranguru on the team.
Yeah, that is curious, but I suppose he wanted to bulk.
Oranguru is definitely like kind of a funny mon, but it definitely has potential with like passing items to booster users.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious. Maybe we'll see it more this tournament, even though I kind of doubt it. Oranguru is maybe funny, but is it really worth a slot? I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Instruct is decent too, and like the ghost immunity, but like...
You need to get Trick Room off, you need to make sure your partner Pokemon is healthy and can take on both. You need to be prepared, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right, so then we go on to Game 5. You went to Game 5 both times. And so this... how do you feel when you go into a Game 5? Like knowing it all depends on that one game.
Some people tend to play safer. I usually try to go out more like offensively styled in Game 5s because that's
more
when
fun,
it's like,
unexpected turn.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're not gonna go this because it's Game 5 and they want to play safe. But I just kind of go like all in a lot of the times.
Yeah, I like that. I like that about you. So he brought a disgusting stall team. And you brought HO.
Stall is so...
It's not maybe stall, it's just
annoying.
very bulky. And you brought basically HO, which is quite an interesting matchup, but oftentimes HO just wins from bulk.
It's my Game 1 team.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Great Tusk. I like it a lot. And I
It's a
think Great
solid
Tusk
mon. I really
is
liked it on this build.
really good this matchup.
Yeah, his the only thing that's like not good about this team is like fighting resist Arcanine that doesn't resist fighting.
Yeah.
You basically get like a couple close combats off for free while it like tries to wisp everything.
Yeah, I suppose it's not great for both sides. It's annoying for both sides, I think. Annoying to run it, annoying to face it. So, you saw his team. You probably saw everything is fighting weak besides Arcanine. So wait, like, why did you bring what you brought? So, you brought, of course, Great Tusk, because that's just such a good matchup, and Iron Hands. Is it just everything is weak to fighting besides Arcanine and... these two together can also deal with Arcanine? Was that the whole mentality behind it?
Yeah, I was considering Iron Valiant for a second, but then I knew that Arcanine had to come out. For Gargan, oh, I knew Arcanine was definitely coming in. It just intimidates, and it was probably Wisp with this bulkier offense. But I knew it'd pack like some type of fire move to off Valiant real quick, so I wanted something like with more stability. Plus Talonflame into a Garganacl is terrible.
It's not what you want.
Not at all. And I don't need Tailwind at all in this matchup.
Yeah, so what do we see here? Oh wait, did you actually run an AV Iron Hands?
Both of them are AV.
Oh wait, so is this the first time you've run an Iron Hands AV so far? I think it might be.
It actually is. I built a lot with AV. I just
didn't use
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so White Guard, which... I don't know what White Guard was about to do here. Maybe protect on your Iron Hands and then EQ? I don't know, that was a weird play.
EQ.
It's a weird play. That was just a weird play. 71 from -1 is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
He protects
Paradox
there.
Mons are busted.
Yeah, they are. Even though Great Tusk isn't the worst offender.
Yeah, definitely. It's a solid mon.
Do you think he might have, like, he had the possibility to win if he just, what's it called? Steel defense? You know, where you raise your attack by 2, or like your defense by 2. Do you think he could have won if he played it right?
Yeah, I've seen other Garganacl matchups. I feel like the Wide Guard was like on an EQ, but like I wasn't Air Balloon Iron Hands, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Plus he had Protect on the Arcanine, which is kind of confusing.
Alright, let me put it like this. I don't think he could have won. I do think he could have increased his chances if he just, straight off the rip, just double protected. Or not double protected, if he protected the Arcanine and then just, what's that move called again, where you get +2 defense? I always forget.
Defense?
Iron defense. If he just Iron defensed turn 1, he would have been, and protected Arcanine, I think he would have been in a much better spot from there, to start off with. Then, Arcanine is the fastest thing on the field, so then after that he could have wisped, I think he should have wisped the Iron Hands, instead of Great Tusk, personally. Purely because Iron Hands is just stronger. And then, like, instead of Salt Curing, he should have, again, went for an Iron Defense. In the end, it will come down to whenever you crit, but when you play these type of teams and you really are banking on you not getting critted, it oftentimes doesn't work. So I think he would have broken through eventually and still won. But I do think he played his matchup not to the best of his ability, probably. I don't know how you feel about it, though.
It was definitely interesting on both sides. I feel like, because I talked to Mom Lover after Game 5, and he said he was thinking about Woxian, because, well, if it had some type of, like, offensive grass move, it probably would have done a lot to Tusk, but I don't know how that matchup would pan out, since
Not
I'm
good.
AV.
Yeah, I think he would lose anyways. I think he just really brought the wrong team against you.
Yeah.
So those were the...
Things are really good, though.
So those were the games. We went over all of them, but there was something I still wanted to ask you, which I forgot to ask you when we did the interview. Which is, I'm not sure if you like the idea we're doing here with an interview of a player, but in case you like it, Who do you think we should interview next?
I think this interview stuff is actually really cool. It shines a spotlight on a lot of like unique players and like players that like might do a lot, but since they aren't on like any official like hearing or like council or anything, like they're not a bunch of credit.
So, who do you think should be the next interviewed guest?
You gotta interview my man Glitch for that Riolu game.
Oh yeah, that's a great set of games.
That series was incredible, bro.
Right, if I can get glitched, we will do an interview with him. So that's the recommendation you're giving?
Yep.
Alright, that's cool. Hey, thanks for coming on again. I think I will upload this looking over the replays as a second video, otherwise it will become so lengthy.
Yeah.
I think we've we've sat in the Discord call together in total for now an hour and maybe 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Either way, again, thanks for coming along and good luck with packing up your car.
Thanks for having me.
What was wrong with your car, if I might ask?
Oh, it's a transmission thing, and then they didn't get the parts for like a week.
Oh, that's nasty. And that's also not the most cheap thing you can repair.
It's not that cheap.
Well, that's the joy of having a car. Alright, well, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
Alright, see ya.